Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at, out of Gamma World, some of the power groups of Gamma Terra, the Cryptic Alliances. These are groups of individuals that get together for whatever reason, and they can be really good Kickstarter for your campaign, or just a way to kind of give your campaign a little direction. Player characters can belong to various Cryptic Alliances. They can find themselves at rivals with the Cryptic Alliance for whatever reason. So they're pretty good MacGuffin in Gamma World. Also, I want to say, subscribers, please, I don't know why, but subscriptions have flatlined. I'm not really sure why. So please help. I have done very poorly this month in subscribers, and I really don't understand why. Everyone who has subscribed, thank you very much. If you know anybody who's been on the fence, please have them come aboard. I do want to keep the channel going, and I need to keep growing to keep going. Also, Patreon, please take a look if there's anything you can do to help out there. Even on a 1-month basis, it helps me pick up some stuff that I can then take a look at on the channel, as well as help with a little bit of the equipment, that kind of thing. So existing patrons, thank you. And anybody who's thinking about it, please come aboard. But back to the important stuff today. And Gamma Terra, Cryptic Alliances in Gamma World, from page 121. Cryptic Alliances in Gamma World, what the heck are they? Well, they're power groups, basically, is the best way to put it. They usually will have some kind of theme. If you've seen The Walking Dead and The Kingdom and Negan, those various things, those are power groups. If I'm making older references, because I gave up on the series about the time Negan came in. But anyway, in Gamma World, they are specific power groups, usually with some kind of societal or political leaning, that will oppose you, or you can join, and if you join, you get some specific bonuses. I'm choosing to take a look at the Cryptic Alliances out of Gamma World 2nd edition, which is this rule book, simply because this is where they kind of flesh things out a little bit more for us. 1st edition didn't do a lot with that. They just gave us a rough idea what they were. You get a little bit more in this book and in later editions of Gamma World. So I'm not going to be restricting this look at Cryptic Alliances strictly to this book. I'm going to be doing future videos, and I'll feature other Cryptic Alliance groups, as long as there's some interest from viewers in having me do this. So if you are interested in seeing me continue with Gamma World Cryptic Alliance series, I have no idea how many videos it would be, but if you're interested, please leave a comment below and let me know that. So here we go. What is a Cryptic Alliance? First, they're listed as a encounter or hazard, which is pretty cool. And there's a nice little pen and ink drawing by Larry Elmore of a Cryptic Alliance. Not really sure which one, but intelligent NPCs and in campaigns, player characters may be members of secret societies called Cryptic Alliances. Like I said, this could also be called power group, allegiance, anything like that. Cryptic Alliance to which character belongs will affect his actions. In campaigns, Cryptic Alliances also give PCs benefits outlined in Part 7. So if we go a little further into the book, you'll see that you get some benefits for being in certain Cryptic Alliances. And it's a great way to kind of push your characters into a situation. They can encounter a Cryptic Alliance and find themselves opposing it, or they can find themselves working for or in a Cryptic Alliance. Each of the Cryptic Alliances brought out here is brought out by the name, the tech, which type of membership they allow: pure strain human, humans, pure strain human, humanoids, mutated animals, plants, androids, or others. And then the number of the members that you encounter, what kind of base they will normally have, secret sign, and description. So there's a lot of Mad Max in here too. Mad Max 2 was out around the time this was published, so we're seeing some Mad Max influence there too. Mad Max Road Warrior, Mad Max 2. Mad Max 1 was out in 79. So the first Cryptic Alliance I'm going to look at today, and I'm only going to look at 1 or 2 today, are going to be Archivists, also called the Servants of the Eye. And there is their little all-seeing eye symbol, which we see on our money. And Bill from Gravity Falls, I forget his name. They allow pure strain humans 5%, humanoids 60%, mutated animals 20%, and A 5%, and A is androids. Okay. The secret sign members Prominently display the old Masonic Lodge pins. That's the I. Bill Cipher. That's the name. Thank you. Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. A stylized eye inside a pyramid. Drawn in the air or a convenient surface to indicate a meeting place. And the description of the cult is, this cult of technology worshippers exists in many primitive areas and is especially appealing to unsophisticated humanoids. They collect but rarely use artifacts, especially robots, which they deactivate and mount in their temples as gods. Members are rich in dolmars and will pay top dollar for artifacts, stealing what they can't buy. Temples will always be in deep caves, old bomb shelters, or similar locations. Archivists can be recruited or hired if they feel the adventure will lead to the acquisition of more artifacts. So pretty interesting group that you can use. I remember having an encounter with an archivist group back on one of the games I played as a player. I remember it was a very brief encounter, and we ended up taking their stuff because Gamma World, and you do. So that's all I really use the archivists for. I don't remember using them as a game master, but it's entirely possible I did. I've been playing Gamma World for over 40 years. Next one we take a look at is Brotherhood of Thought. They are tech level 3. They allow pure strain humans 100%, humanoids 100%, mutated animals 95%, plants 50%, androids 100%. Their secret sign, the infinity symbol, traced on a forehead or as if brushing back the hair. So there you go. The little 8 on its side, that's the infinity symbol. The Brotherhood is dedicated to furthering the spirit of benevolence among intelligent species and eventually founding a world order based on individual freedom and mutual cooperation. Each evangelists operate in groups of 3, a pure strain human, a mutated animal or plant, and a humanoid. From hidden bases, they seek converts to their doctrine wherever they go. Members will sometimes cooperate with the seekers, but will actively oppose purists and friends of entropy. They will often join the activities that add to the spirit of peaceful cooperation or thwart the forces of dissension and hate. I actually did a pretty interesting campaign years and years ago with the Brotherhood of Thought, where I took them to the next step. They were not only being this benevolent spirit of good and healthy relationships amongst creatures, they were forcing it. And they were pushing, and making you conform to what they believed was the one true faith. Interesting thing, and it actually spawned a bit of a discussion of real world things, which I'm not going to go into here, but it spawned some interesting discussion amongst our group. Unusually philosophical, especially for a Gamma World game. So it was a different kind of game. And it ended up, the group went on a quest for the Brotherhood of Thought, and then found out that the Brotherhood was actually trying to force them into conforming to their belief system. So you can make a little societal conversation on some of these, or you'll get some societal conversation going with some of these as well. Next, we have the followers of the voice, the programmers. They also are Tech 3. They take pure strain humans 100%, humanoids 75%, mutated animals 25%, plants 5%, and androids 100%. Their secret sign, variable. Programmers in different areas use unique passwords in the form of numbers and symbols copied from old computer programs. Favorite symbol is a floppy disk. Can tell this written in the 80s, right? Floppy disk, that's awesome. Programmers believe that the world was created by the computers that they claim to find in old installations. They deny all pre-Holocaust history, claiming that the social wars were the result of human rebellion against their machine masters. They also believe in salvation by returning to a state of obedience to these masters. Programmers operate shrines at the sites of installations whose think tanks, cybernetic units, or MBCs are intact. They obey these units and will offer them prayers in the form of programs they have copied from computer manuals they believe to be an old religious text. Programmers seldom leave their shrines except to search out more of the old gods or as a result of obeying the orders of deranged masters. They are fanatics and can't be hired, though they can be recruited if it serves their own ends. They never check morale. You can do a really interesting one. I had a group get friendly with a cybernetic installation, and it was mildly insane, but they were able to kind of calm it down and bring it back a little bit. And they used it as a base for several adventures till it was ultimately destroyed. But one of the groups they ended up having to deal with were the followers of the voice. Followers of the voice believed that the cybernetic installation was their god and that the players were enslaving it. So they went ahead and they attacked the installation and the players were actually able to repel the attack with the help of the cybernetic installation, who wanted nothing to do with this group of fanatics. That was an interesting game. It was a mini campaign I ran with just one buddy of mine, and then we had a couple people drop in here and there. I think a total of 4 or 5 players went through it, and this was sometime in the early 80s. It wasn't uncommon for us in the early 80s to kind of be bored and look at each other and say, you want to play some Gamma World? And say, sure. So 2, 3, or 4 of us would just sit down and we'd whip up an impromptu game of Gamma World that I almost always DM'd. It was a lot of fun. I miss those days. I miss having somebody around and I can just say, hey, you want to play some Gamma World? And they say, sure. But oh well. That's all I'm going to go into today, just the first 3 of the Cryptic alliances. I love the idea of the Followers of the Voice using a floppy disk. Outdated technology now, and we are well before when the Shadow Wars would have happened, so I thought that was kind of neat. But that's all I've got. If you've got any comments or questions, please put them below. And that's it for today on page 121. Let me know if you want to see more of this series. Leave comments. And I'll see you next time.